Welcome back to Investing and Trading Live, sponsored by Online Trading Academy, teaching everyday people just like you how to trade for income strategies, but also how to invest for long-term wealth strategies, 401k strategies, IRA, making smart decisions with those, especially in these declining markets. If you missed tickets for that 3-day deep dive in the financial markets, as I mentioned on that last segment, we have a lot of people that know they want to trade and invest. They know they want to get in the markets. They want more consistency with those retirement accounts. We do have that 3-day deep dive. Normally, there's a tuition of $200. For our radio listeners, it's just $99 here for you today. You can call right now for that. When you call in, mention you want the 3-day deep dive for $99. Call 888-682-6466. And actually, we've had a lot of people call in. Congratulations to those that got seats for this class. This is a highly sought-after class because you have 3 days with one of our professional instructors. Call 888-682-6466. This is for you and your spouse. Most people bring their spouse with. That way you can make those smarter financial decisions moving forward with all your accounts. So, Al, we talked about in that last segment the 401ks and IRAs, but you brought up strategies that you can use other assets to continue to build those during retirement time or before, but using less capital. Everybody knows the stock market, and it actually requires a lot of money because what happens is it ties up your dollars. It's almost like if you were to buy a home using cash, that's basically the same thing as buying stocks.
Right.
You need that physical dollars to purchase that. Well, there's assets that are out there that act almost like a mortgage would be.
Correct.
You take a much smaller account to control the same amount of money in the market. And you have the futures market, the Forex market, and the options market. So we can kind of get into these what these markets are a little bit later. But I want you to explain a little bit how that leverage works and how to get more what they call it how they say up north with all my friends, more bang for your buck.
Well, that's exactly what it is. I mean, I like to look at every investment dollar I have as like an employee. If you have a business, if you own a business and you have employees and you have one employee that comes in every day and just goes over in a corner, lays down and takes a nap and sleeps all day, there's no productivity from that person. You're probably not going to keep him very long.
Al, did you sound like you might have done that before?
No, I was referring to somebody else that's in the same room with me right now.
Oh,
but,
it's our producer. It's our producer.
Yeah, okay. All right. But that is the...
Or Brad
That's
Pitt.
the truth. If someone's not producing, you get rid of them. Well, what about your investment dollars? Are they producing at the greatest for you, the greatest impact for you? And the answer is no. If you're buying stock, your leverage basically is 1-to-1. Every dollar you put in will allow you to buy $1 worth of something. Or with a mutual fund, every dollar you put in will buy $1 worth. What if that dollar that you put in could control $50 worth of something, or $20 or $100? That's leverage. That's getting the maximum productivity out of every investment dollar you have. That's what you can do with what we call leveraged assets, the futures market, the options market, the foreign exchange market. And especially when you go into retirement, and let's say you've worked 30, 40 years and you have whatever is in your retirement bucket, and it's always been the fact that advisors will, as you get closer to retirement or go into retirement, kind of switch you from a heavily skewed equity portfolio to more of a bond or fixed income portfolio. Well, unfortunately now the fixed income vehicles haven't been paying very well, and with inflation you're actually underwater. You have a negative real rate of return.
I don't think people realize that.
No, because think about it. If inflation is running around that 8.3% mark, that means if you're getting 2 or 3% or 4%, the inflation is exceeding what you're getting by about 4%, 4 or 5%. That's going to actually deplete your assets quicker. So how do you still participate, but with smaller amounts of money, not taking a lot of what you have worked so hard for? You do it by using leverage. And the leveraged assets are also the assets that you should be using or learn how to use for income before you retire, and then continue using them when you go in retirement. You can have a smaller investment account control something worth a lot more. You can have protection on all of these assets, all these leveraged assets. You can trade them in up markets and down markets, and especially with options in sideways markets. If you're looking for additional income, you need it pretty much on a constant basis, like you were relying on your paychecks before. You can use options pretty much in any market condition to bring cash in, to generate income.
It's a great strategy for that.
It's a great strategy. And if you have in your portfolio, if you have stock or you have bonds or you have precious metals or you have currencies, options can be used with all of those to boost the returns and provide protection.
Yep.
And the reason that people don't use those is that no one's educated you on them. That stranger that you're giving your money to, are they talking to you about these assets? No, they're talking to you about just putting your money in the market in a stock or a mutual fund and holding on to it, and then basically it's passed off to somebody else to manage. The only way that you really are going to have the potential to get the full benefit out of the markets is for you to do this, but get the right education to do it.
Yep. Now, there's a lot of listeners right now that want to get more bang for their buck and want to learn more about that leverage. So I do want to make sure we get people an opportunity to see what that is before we actually explain these markets. You can text the word investing to the number 210-210 to see how this leverage actually works in the financial markets. Text the word investing to the number 210-210. Al, we have a lot of repeat listeners to the show. We have a huge following of listeners on Investing and Trading Live all across the country and actually across the world on the podcast. We get people from other countries that listen to the show. And I think it's because we really break down the markets on how they work, what they are, and what the opportunities are as well. And we have a fan favorite as well. So I want you to explain a little bit about the futures market, because we have a lot of listeners that keep asking us, why do you keep talking about your favorite lean hogs?
Yeah, right.
So explain what futures is real quick.
First of all, I have no idea why Josh likes lean hog so much, and I'm not sure I even want to know. But
maybe it's because I love bacon.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. Bacon's good. I love bacon too. But lean hogs are one component of the futures family. I'm going to call it a family. Futures is basically a family of assets that you have access to. You can trade in the major stock markets, in some foreign stock markets. You can trade the commodities like lean hogs or sugar or corn or soybeans. You can trade oil. It's been a great one, and we're seeing some good movement in oil. You can trade the dollar. You can trade currencies. You can trade precious metals, gold, silver. I think
silver was up about 20% from the bottom this year already.
Great move
in the past month or so.
Right? Yeah, and so you have access to all of these things, which not only have great leverage. I mean, it could be anywhere from maybe 20 to 1 to over 100 to 1 leverage. And you can trade in an up market, a down market. Basically, what you're doing is you're looking at what you feel that particular asset, maybe it's lean hogs, is it going to be worth more in the future or less in the future? The great thing for us as traders looking for short-term income is that it's a very short-lived investment. In other words, you get into it and out of it with a potential profit in a very short period of time. Sometimes in a couple of hours, sometimes in a day, maybe a couple of days, but it's short-term in nature. So if you're looking for additional cash, that's a great strategy to use. Good leverage, trades almost 24 hours a day, and the components of the futures family, some of them are correlated to each other, some are inversely correlated, some are not correlated at all. So you have the ability to have true diversification. Plus, let's throw another kicker in there that's a benefit. It's a 60-40 tax split. It's a tax benefit that we talk about in these classes.
Yep, you keep more of your money.
You could save several thousands of dollars if you're an active trader with your taxes by using that future strategy.
Yeah, I really like those strategies because it just allows people to be more efficient with their money. So say, for an example, an investor, let's just say you have 50 to 1 leverage with the Forex market. If an investor has $5,000 to trade and invest, you have the opportunity to control up to $250,000 in the Forex market. That's the buying power that you get. Are you going to use the whole thing? I hope not. But you have access to use more, which, as I talked about at the beginning of this segment here, gives you more bang for your buck. Learn how to do that. Learn how to do it safely and confidently in these investing classes that we have tickets to. You can text the word investing right now to the number 210-210 for 2 free tickets for this class to see what that leverage is, how it works, and how to make smarter investing decisions with those different accounts, futures, Forex, and options. Al, let's hear today's OTA tip of the week.
Well, you know what? If you've looked at your portfolio and you're not happy with what you see and you want to make some changes, remember this. Things won't change themselves ever. Things never change themselves. Things pretty much keep going the way they go until they're acted on by an outside force. That's you. That's you taking action. If you're not making the money you say you want, you won't start or have the potential to start unless you change something. It's not that things won't change themselves. It's that things won't change unless we change something, and that something is our actions. The only way that anything changes, whether it's for good or bad, is when someone takes action. So make sure you take the right action. No action means no change. So the key is to see what actions you are or aren't taking now and the results that they're producing. Taking action is the necessary component. Without it, you will always remain where you are.
I'm glad you brought that up. And you said if you're not happy with your portfolio, you might need to do something a little bit different. It's not new, it's just different. We have this 3-day deep dive for people that know they want to do things differently, but not sure how. It's a 3-day deep dive with one of our professional instructors about the financial markets, stocks, options, futures, Forex. Call right now for this class. It's normally $200. Today for you listeners, just $99. It's the 3-day deep dive. Call 888-682-6466. That's 888-682-6466. Next week, we're going to continue talking about this 3-day deep dive. We have a lot of people calling in and these financial markets. Great opportunities moving forward. Are you missing out or are you taking action? As always, same time, same place next week. Until then, retire young, my friends.